quarter notes on the hi-hat. Sometimes the tempos are way up and then it will be impossible to still be playing 8 notes. So we can switch to quarter notes, just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're gonna start with a very simple version of this. Just 1 and 3 on the bass, 2 and 4 on the snare and quarters on the hi-hat. It's like, you know, lesson 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now there can be different reasons why you would choose quarter notes on the hi-hat. Not only because sometimes the tempo is super high, but sometimes it just sounds better on a slower tempo. So if you think that suits a certain song that you want to play, then go for it, of course. But like I said, sometimes the tempos are way up high and you need to switch to quarter notes because there's really no other way. The slow version I just did, and now we go a little faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I could still play 8 notes here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. If you go faster, which is possible, you know, you end up maybe somewhere here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. Maybe some of you guys will, but this is too fast for me, I have to admit. So I will go to quarter notes. Next one, almost the same, but now I'm playing 3 and on the bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's 2 bass drums that I'm playing while playing just 1 hi-hat. 3 and. So that's something to coordinate in the beginning, to organize. But it's definitely doable. Alright, faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. What's very important when you're playing quarter notes is that you don't do it this way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Don't play too stiff with this right hand. Try to keep a fluent, flowing if you will, forward motion. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Not stop the motion after every hit that you give. If you go faster, there's really no other way than to just keep moving. But if for the slower tempos, you still want to try to use the space that you have. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just make the motion nice and big. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. This will help you separate the moves you make on the bass drum from your right hand. You're making them more independent. And that's a big win. Alright, faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. A few more examples. I will do them slowly first and then take it from there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now that was 2 and then 3 on the bass drum. Now I'm leaving out the third beat and then we end up with this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Something like that. Next one, almost same. I'm adding a bass drum on 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Whenever you play quarter notes, sometimes it's a good idea to open the hi-hat a little bit. You know, you don't have to necessarily have the hi-hat, you know, super close all the time. It can be closed, it can be all the way open, and every step in between. Try to play with this concept, and not only when you play quarter notes, by the way. It goes for every time you play a beat, and most of the time there will be a hi-hat involved. Try to think how much pressure you give or don't give with your left foot in order to hopefully create the best sound for a certain song that you play. You can of course practice all these rhythms on the ride, you know, just the ride itself or the cup of the ride, something like that, or even a crash cymbal. You know, sometimes this wall of sound is needed when the guitars are open and the vocalist is screaming. And here you are. You know, no one's gonna hear you, so. Sometimes you have to play it loud and clear.